Germany, where I learned how to work with metal and gold. There, I got the idea for making a perfect book, which is how I ended up making a printing press. I got the idea of being a host because of the few times that I went to court and had to speak a lot about my opinion, which is a lot like being a host. You're all probably wondering why I went to court. It was because another printer claimed I didn't give him enough money, but we don't need to go into that. Anyway, let's introduce our guests. First, we have Ferdinand Magellan, one of the world's premier explorers. Next, we have Leonardo da Vinci, an amazing artist. After that, we have the father of modern science, Galileo. And last but not least, we have the inspiring artist, Michelangelo. Magellan, what do you tell us a little about yourself?
Thank you, you're too kind. If you don't know already, I was the first one to sail around the world. I was born in Portugal, then when they refused to fund my expedition, I started working for Spain. They agreed to fund me, started off on my voyage and discovered places like the Philippines and the Straits of Magellan. Now back to you, Gutenberg.
Da Vinci, talk about yourself.
Hi, I'm Leonardo da Vinci. I'm an artist, scientist, and inventor. My inventions have been used around the world for centuries. They help people a lot. And my paintings amaze people a ton. Like my Mona Lisa, it's the most famous painting in the world. And for inventions, I invented the alarm clock, a tank, bicycle, and many more.
And Galileo, tell everyone your story. Galileo?
Sorry, I cannot stop staring at your beard.
Look who's talking, you're the one who...
Why? I still have to tell my story. Hello everyone, I am Galileo. I was born in Italy on February 15, 1564. My dad was a musician, and he had always wanted for me to be a doctor. However, I never wanted to be a doctor. Rather, I became a scientist. I invented many things such as a compass and a telescope. With a telescope, I was able to see into space and see many planets and moons. My inventions were very useful, and they eventually made me famous.
Last but certainly not least, tell us a little about your artistic life, Michelangelo.
Hello. I grew up in a middle-class family with parents who owned a large painting business. When I was young, I really liked to watch painters after school. I was offered my first painting job at age 13. Later, as I was getting older, I was getting better and better at painting and sculpting, and I got better jobs. My parents were disappointed that I didn't want to continue the family business, but they still supported me being an artist. Anyways, I started to do a lot of painting at churches and palaces, and people were usually really pleased with my work.
Very nice, Michelangelo. I always found it funny that I was remembered for creating the movable type printing press, even though I only invented the movable type printing press, which means that the letters can move around and make different words, in case all you guys didn't know my wonderful invention. Magellan, care to share anything interesting about you? Maybe something a lot of people don't know?
Oh, you're talking to me, like, I don't know. Oh, I know. I didn't go around the world from point A to point B, but instead went around from point A to point B, back to point A, then to point B from the other way around. I also had a loop.
I'm the one who had the idea that later led to the invention of clocks.
Wow, now I can really see that I know you guys. What about the artist?
Well, my full name is Michelangelo Dilo Doviso Unoa Tosimoni.
I have Andrea del Verrocchio with a painting called The Baptism of Christ.
Looking what you all have to say, I think I know what's the important person here. Having invented the extremely important printing press in art.
Wow, congrats. By making paper, you gave homework to kids for over 400 years.
My invention was also the very, very beginning for all this electronic stuff I know you all love.
All of us are equal. Stop fighting. We're all important.
Not fighting, just trying to get more information out of everyone. You guys are not the most popular people in the world, you know.
My inventions speak for themselves. Just look at how useful they are, and you will definitely agree that I'm the most important.
Ha, that's something for sailing around the world. For my voyage, I paid away for the exploration of the Pacific.
You have anything to add, Da Vinci?
I'm definitely the most important, since I took 4 years of my precious life to draw the amazing Mona Lisa, which I'm sure is famous.
Speaking of the Mona Lisa, which I personally find plain and with not a lot of color, unlike the Gutenberg Bible that I printed, no offense.
Hey, that was extremely mean. Can you please not say that again?
Sorry. Anyways, what do you guys think about it?
Really, I can't decide, but the painting of the wife in a Italian merchant just doesn't appeal to me.
I love it for two reasons. One, because it's mine. Two, it's awesome, and so is its texture.
Da Vinci, I'm trying to be nice, but I don't like your painting.
Offensive? What did I say? I don't like your telescope.
You wouldn't say that.
And why not?
I'm sick.
Well,
Anyways, I don't like Mona Lisa because she doesn't smile enough and shows no emotion whatsoever.
Even if you don't like my painting, Gutenberg, Galileo, Michelangelo, other people do, so don't say that.
Calm down. Calm down. Lots of people in the future will probably like your painting. It's just not my style.
Fine, my next feature will be more colorful. Just for you. Maybe, maybe not.
What about this picture?
Terrible.
That's the worst picture I've ever seen in my whole life. Put it down! Put it down!
Okay. Anyway, what does everyone else think they'll be remembered for in the future?
I will be remembered in the future because my telescope allows us to see far out into space.
Personally, I try to remember as the first man to go around the world.
Wow, that's a lot of wishful thinking. My hope is just to be known for my printing and my printing press and my Bible and everything else. Okay, I guess it's a little wishful thinking on my part too. What about you, Michelangelo?
In the future, I will be known for being a great artist with beautiful masterpieces.
Interesting. Now I know you all know my favorite invention, the printing press. What's your favorite invention, Michelangelo?
My favorite is also the printing press because it's really useful.
Thanks. Magellan?
Oh, say something about Ray Galileo. Oh, wait, you mean me. Well, I personally like the globe. I know it's not completely new, but still let me give the inspiration to find a way around the Asian Americas. Asia to Americas. Oops, they meant to say a way around the Americas to Asia.
Galileo?
Definitely the telescope because I invented it.
My favorite inventions are the alarm clock, tank, and bicycle. They are awesome.
Even though Da Vinci and I are both artists, I don't think we will be known for the same kind of thing. He's more into just painting, science, and inventions, while I want to be known for the beautiful Sistine Chapel and my sculptures as well.
I agree. I don't want to be known as just a plain printer, because there are many of them in the world. I'd rather be known as something different. I want to be known as the inventor of the movable type printing press.
Totally. There are lots of artists in the world like you, Michelangelo, but I'm different. As well as being an artist, I'm an inventor and scientist as well.
I'm very different than other scientists because I explored into space while other scientists just explored things on Earth.
What about you, Magellan? What would you say if someone compared you to Christopher Columbus?
What's wrong with exploring the Earth? Oh, sorry, Gutenberg. I didn't hear you for a sec. I'm really thinking about that. I guess Columbus is a good man, but just man. I mean, he massively miscalculated the size of the world and only survived because he got lucky.
I consider another printer, Johann Fox, my enemy, because he took me to court and ended up taking all my experiments and ideas. So, Magellan, what do you think?
Who's joking first? Oh, never mind. Let's answer your question. I don't really think Columbus is much of an enemy. I mean, by the time I was Spain, he was already dead.
My enemies are any other artists because I feel like they're trying to compete with me and it really stresses me out.
What about you, Da Vinci? Do you agree with Michelangelo?
I don't really have an enemy other than myself. I like to make my drawings perfect, but I'm also a little lazy. I really have to work against myself sometimes if I want to get stuff done.
I'm going to go with the church as my enemy because of all the trouble I had with them.
Instead of talking about people we hate, let's talk about people we like. For me, that would be my father, who helped me when I was young and told me never to give up. Who inspired you to do your paintings, Da Vinci?
No one really inspired me. I just felt comfortable when I was drawing, thinking of inventions and working with science. For my most famous painting, Mona Lisa, I was really inspired with her. It was my friend, and she and I had to draw something good, so I drew her.
What about you, Michelangelo?
I was inspired as a young boy by the painters in my neighborhood. They were really famous, but I still look up to them.
Galileo?
Copernicus inspired me because he was the one who had the idea that the sun is the center of the universe.
Oh, it's my turn. The reason I became explorers is because of the stories of great Portuguese explorers from the Pacific Week. Well, only gave me the idea for a race.
On that good note, I'll let you all get back to sailing around the world, painting paintings, inventing inventions, and sculpting sculptures. Thank you all for joining me today on the Renaissance Talk Show.
Bye.
Bye.